Middle East Institute at Sakarya University, and he joins me now live from Sakarya here in Turkey. Thank you so much for being with us on the program today. Now, we do have an official statement of the two countries reopening embassies and consulates, both in Riyadh and Tehran. This is a significant step in normalizing ties, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very significant step, and we were expecting this outcome for about 2 years with the mediation of Iraq and Oman. But now the parties chose China to broke this deal, and they broke this deal in Beijing. And also this is a significant political message to the world and other nations. And it will have huge consequences for the region and for global politics. So that's why we should closely follow the further developments in the near future. And I think it will create some really huge resonance in the world politics.
You mentioned that this deal being struck in China, there's a message behind that.
Yeah.
Is it geopolitically surprising that this deal was mediated by China and not by the West, and that the West is on the sidelines of all of this?
Yeah, it's very significant, and we should all look at carefully this political message, because I think it says that China is claiming to be the next hegemon in the Middle East and filling the vacuum which was left by the U.S. because the U.S. is very preoccupied by the conflict, the war in Ukraine. And it was calculating to weaken China through the war in Ukraine, because once the Russia is weakened, and China will be the next. But China acted very smartly, and of course it has other motives for itself, various motives like securing the energy supply and creating a stable region for its energy supply and for its other global programs like Belt and Road Initiative, One China policy, etc. But I think the clear and very important political message is that China is diversifying its partners in the region by creating a secure and peaceful environment in the Middle East. Actually, it contributes its other plan and program, like offering an alternative global vision. And yeah.
So this is being seen as a fresh new chapter of relations for Saudi Arabia and Iran, but there are a lot of issues that they don't see eye to eye on. How exactly will they be able to overcome the political and economic struggles that have been exacerbated by religious differences?
Yeah, I believe religious differences and putting the religious differences as an obstacle actually has a political motivation. So when there is a political reconciliation and normal relations between the two countries, I believe that the religious differences will be no matter of conflict or problem. So I think the agreement and this reconciliation, normalizing relations between the two countries, will serve their economic interests also and their political interests. First of all, it will reduce the tension in the region. So it will create, like I said before, a stable environment. And also, Iran has long needed this kind of agreement because of this crippling sanctions on itself by like U.S. has been imposing this sanction, and it has had huge negative impact on Iran's economy. So I think it will ease the pressures on Iran in terms of economy also. And it will, I think, maybe ending, it's a big word, but surely it will ease the proxy wars in the region, like
especially in Yemen, of course.
And it can contribute to ending the conflict in Syria also.
Okay, Mustafa Caner, thank you so much for joining us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's now time for a business update with Ludovica Brignola. Ludovica, we're seeing negative data coming out of the U.S. economy. What's happening?
Right. Fernand, it really looks as if inflation is easing, but recession fears are not, especially for the US.